What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. As always, I hope everybody's having a great weekend, watching some spooky movies and whatnot, and I hope everybody has a really good Memorial Day. I'm on a 3-day weekend, which I'm never going to complain about having a paid day off, which is pretty cool. Not going to do anything too crazy, just probably going to barbecue a couple things outside. It's still a bit cold here in Michigan. But anyways, in regard for this video, as you can tell, I am downstairs on the green screen once again. And today the reasoning is a bit of a gripe of mine. I know the older I get, I turn more into like Clint Eastwood, like get off my lawn and stuff like that. But my next door neighbor, guys, has been mowing his lawn for like 3 hours. And I live in Metro Detroit. Very small front yard that he's mowing. And my normal setup, the room that I use is the furthest on the side of the house by their front yard, and I could just hear his edger going all day, all day. So it's like, man, how long does it take to mow a damn lawn? Get the shit done, man. But anyways, just decided to come down here in the basement and record it. With that being said, I got a pretty fun video coming out tomorrow, but figured I'd make another one today for the hell of it. As you can see from the title, this is a video I've been meaning to do for a long time. I'm not reinventing the wheel or anything with this one. There's plenty of people on YouTube that have made this kind of video, but I figured why not? I'll give my tips here. These are more geared towards like beginner collectors, but I think a lot of things I'm going to mention will help anybody that collects, and if for nothing else, I could tell a bit of my story as well. With that being said, I'm going to give you guys 5 tips for collecting physical media. So anyways, the first tip I would like to give everybody, this is especially when you start collecting in the beginning, is don't buy everything. Now, I was a victim of this when I first started recollecting. Long story short, I pretty much collect physical media my whole life, but with like moving a couple times, like 10 years ago, I lost a lot of my collection, and we had a flood in the basement here, which a lot of my stuff got damaged. I had them on boxes on the ground like a jackass, and the flood ruined a lot of stuff. So I'd say maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I got back into collecting. And with that tip that I'm given of not buying everything, I would say when you start watching people online or seeing stuff on Instagram, you see all these huge shelves that everybody has, all these pack shelves, all these titles, and it looks awesome. You know, if anybody grew up in the video store days like I did, you aspire to have a shelf full of movies and everything. But, you know, for example, when I started collecting at first, I wanted to get my collection going. And I would grab stuff from like the $5 bins at Walmart, or I would go to the thrift stores and just pick stuff up, or I would buy certain titles that I didn't even have that much interest in. I remember buying a lot of like live action Disney movies like The Lion King or Aladdin, and all these years later, I've never even cracked those open or watched them. So what was the point of buying them? It looks good at first when you got like the 20, 30 DVDs taking up space and you're thinking, okay, I'm getting a bit of a collection going. But on top of that fact, you'll find out once you really get your collection going, space is something you're going to run out of very, very quickly. So you don't want to go out and buy stuff right away. You know, now don't get me wrong, I bought stuff that I really like that I haven't watched right away, but that's kind of a thrill right there where you can go, oh, finally time to watch this, and pull it off the shelf and it really hits the spot. But in terms of stuff that you don't really have that much interest in, something you might not watch, I would say just slow down when you first start and take your time, be patient. You're not going to build a big collection overnight. And if you want to build a big collection overnight, for one, if you have the space, that's your prerogative. If that's how you want to collect, double dipping and whatnot. But I've learned from experience from when I first started out, you don't want to get too excited with it because you will run out of space very quick and you'll have a lot of titles on there that you definitely do not watch. Okay, so time for my second tip I will give you guys. Budget yourself. Now, we've all heard a lot of stories recently with certain YouTubers that have gone into like serious debt, like tens of thousands of dollars of debt, which I understand in some cases, which actually I'm just being nice about it. I think it's kind of crazy. I've never once went in debt with collecting. I've always budgeted myself pretty well. I mean, if I got the money, I'll pick something up, you know, if I'm interested. There was even a time yesterday, or 2 days ago, I get paid early on Thursdays at my job, and I was looking around to see if there was any deals and stuff I wanted to pick up, and I got to thinking, I have a lot of movies on a stack that I need to watch that I haven't watched lately. So why just start buying new stuff right now? There's no need to. You need to budget yourself. Think about your bills, obviously, and everything you need to pay for, if and how much you have to spend. And then be a little bit selective, like I was saying with the first step. Is this really a title you need right now? And if there's something that you really want and it's more expensive, save money up for that. You can wait a couple weeks. I know at times I can come off as a bit of a blue tuber when I do haul videos or unboxings, but you don't want to get into that realm of just buying to buy. So you need to budget yourself. You definitely don't want to go into debt. I know one chick on YouTube who actually seems like kind of a bitch. I'll say, you guys know who I'm talking about. Tens of thousands of dollars in debt just to show movies off, which is ridiculous. So yeah, you always have to budget yourself. Don't go overboard. Okay, now number 3, what we're going to go with. Okay, what was the third tip I had? Okay, third is be patient. We all suffer from FOMO. I actually just bought that Trash and Suicide NECA because a couple people were telling me about it, and I looked on eBay and I seen the prices going up, so I picked that up thinking I better grab this before it gets too expensive. But when it comes to movies, be a little patient with things. Like when Dirty Work first got released, mentioned from Vinegar Syndrome, I wanted to buy it right then and there. But then I seen on, they just had a Vinegar Syndrome sale, which is still going on right now, and the prices dropped. And I didn't even buy it then because I was thinking, let me just wait, and it might go even cheaper. Keep a look at the numbers, and it might get cheaper for the actual Black Friday sale in November if they still have copies. But my point is, if you don't think you're going to watch a movie right away, say a new release, if you wait, if you're not too into like getting the slips right away because those can run out, you could wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months before you grab it and get it $15, $20 off and stuff like that. You just have to be a little bit patient for some things to drop. You can't just go out and buy stuff day one all the time. I mean, you can, but in my opinion, it pays to be patient. All these companies do sales, and I think pays to be patient. Then my fourth tip I will give, like a lot of these kind of go hand in hand in a lot of ways. I would say for number 4, educate yourself on the game of physical media. Now, this is something that's going to take a little more time. I didn't know much about anything when I started recollecting. There's certain movies like I picked up Dolls, the Scream Factory release, and then it went out of print like right after I bought it. It was one of the first purchases I made when I started recollecting. I had no idea Scream Factory was even a thing. And then it went out of print and I had no idea. I bought certain titles like Candyman because I love that movie, and I would have bought the Scream Factory release if I would have known about it. So when it comes to starting to collecting, get to know the boutique labels. Scream Factory, Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, Severn, Synapse Films, 88 Films, Code Red. There's tons and tons of them. And then also on top of that, you can go on like Instagram or Facebook and follow certain pages, say like Dawn of the Discs, which will always announce certain releases and titles coming out. And then also go on YouTube. If you ever had to ask me a question, you can follow me at Killer Pizza Video on Instagram. Shoot me a message and I'll give you an opinion on stuff. Leave it in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer some stuff and help guide you along the way. Plus other YouTubers, certain people that I really enjoy to watch, say Dead Pit Radio, Planet CHH, Born to Be Rad, Pizow, these are great channels to watch. Even like Ken at Mid-Level Media, he does a video once a week, like recapping all the new releases, and at the end of the video he'll go on Blu-ray.com, which is another great site to use. You can go on there and look at their deals, and he'll show all that off. You can go to the site yourself and it'll show all the discounts on movies that are on sale all across all boards, give you a direct link to go to Amazon, Walmart, directly to the site, whatever you need. And so if you can kind of educate yourself on these certain boutique labels, and when stuff drops, when the prices drop and stuff, you'll be able to make smarter decisions on what you're purchasing and everything. So that's probably the one that pays the most out of the steps so far, is to kind of, which that one kind of covers the others in general too, just to educate yourself on the community and everything, which it might take a while, but like I said, doesn't ever hurt to ask somebody before you cough up a bunch of money. But anyways, the very last tip I'm going to give is collect what you like. This kind of goes hand in hand with the first tip, to not just buy everything. Because, like I said, I have certain titles that I don't like on my shelf. I remember I subscribed to Horror Pack at one time, which isn't a bad thing to do. It's kind of a fun little deal. But I got a lot of crap movies through those horror packs, a lot of bad shark movies and stuff, like stuff I'll never watch. And when I say collect what you like, your collection should kind of be a look into like you in a way. Like whenever I have people over and we're gonna throw a movie on, nothing beats somebody scrolling through my shelf. I'm like, hey, pick a movie with we'll all chill and watch this. Someone scroll through and they go, demonic toys, what is this? And I say, well, let me tell you about demonic toys, because for the most part, everything on my shelf really defines my taste in movies. I have a lot of horror movies, but especially if you go over towards like, I keep my I keep all my horror and sci-fi together, all my comedies together, and then I keep my action movies, drama, and documentaries all in one section, which is a decent sized collection, but I'm a lot more picky there. So if you were to look at my action movies, everything would define me on that shelf. You'd say, of course, these are all incredible movies. So I say, just make sure your collection is just really defines you and everything, because it's supposed to be fun in the first place. So just grab what you like. No need to be going out here and just picking up stuff just for the hell of it. Blind buying, we all do it here or there, but I'd say just buy the stuff that you're most interested in, which seems pretty obvious, but if you get really hard into collecting and you have stacks of movies everywhere, you guys know what I mean. But anyways, those are my 5 tips. I know this is kind of a different video than I normally do. I just thought this would be kind of fun, one I've always thought about doing. So if these tips help anybody out, that's great. That's what I'm here for. I love this community. All I ever wanted with this channel when I first started it was to talk about movies, and I love the audience that I have, the viewers I have on this channel. I love talking with you guys about just batshit movies all the time. But anyways, if you guys have any other tips for some newcomers or whatever, leave them in the comments, and whatever works for you. And if you have any obviously comments about anything that I just talked about, feel free to leave a comment, blah blah blah, all that fun jazz. But with that being said, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Blood, Guts, Gore. I'll check you guys next time.